Hello everyone, welcome back to tripleS gravity novel, The Universe, Chapter 3. Crushing Waves is the title of this one, which is terrifying. I don't want that to happen. You know, I'm not a Twitter user. I'm not going to tweet out that type of stuff like, please crush me. No, completely against that. But I'm really loving this last chapter. We got Sun and Moon both having their own little sections where they literally went to the moon and to the sun. And just, again, the concept of being on a yacht going over the sun, that's sick as hell. And I'm super loving it right now. I love the space setting. I love the characterization of the members. It's all like accurate and having a lot of references to tripleS stuff. So it's all been super cool. Cannot wait to see what happens next. And last time we had a vote to decide what Xinyu would do next, I think. Found these little creatures and saw the moon members and they're like, what do we do? And they voted to answer the call, just like to basically meet up with the moon members. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember all the details of how the last chapter ended, but very excited to get into it. I'm sure this one will be Neptune and Zenith, so get to see it from Hayeon's perspective, who is my bias, of course. So really excited to see that. First, again, if you want to see a lot more tripleS content, go to my Patreon. You can get it for free with the link in the description. Try it out for a month, see if you like it. I have so much stuff. Just did their Growl cover performance. I have a ton of msnz live stages and other types of performances, performance videos, everything, and Cap Crush and behind films for msnz music videos, and lots more to come. So definitely check that out. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any future tripleS reactions on here. Having Chapter 4 next week, of course. Make sure to stick around for that. Leave a like, leave a comment, and let's get into Chapter 3. First, this is the opening art here, and I can tell who it is this time. I can tell this is Zenith. I can tell this is Hayeon. That's zooming. I can see her face there, and that definitely looks a lot like Jiwoo. So I can tell by process of elimination that this must be Yeonji because she's the only other one with black hair. And then I think this looks more like Bean than Yubin. Has the like braid that Bean keeps having. So this must be Yubin. But yes, they're going to meet up with the pink creatures too, as expected. Still don't know where the Zenith members are going to go because I'm pretty sure that's like an Earth thing. But I don't know. I don't know exactly what Zenith means. Let's get into the chapter. Anticipation always outran fear. Before Xinyu could even voice her unease, the aliens burst into giggles and began guiding the members forward. Cute, right? Kaide's bright shout rang out from afar. The 12 members who had been scattered across entirely different worlds rushed into one another's arms as soon as they reunited. Jian and Min even pointed at each other's outfits, showing that they'd somehow ended up in matching couple looks. But Xinyu's steps led her toward a quiet corner instead of the plaza. Beside a small patch of sand, Seoyeon was crouched down. They're even getting Seoyeon into this. She was watching as one of the aliens drew pictures on the ground. Okay. And then Seoyeon brushed her hair back with a serious look, then lifted her hand as she sensed Xinyu nearby. Oh, you look beautiful. What the hell? They're literally just doing romance here. What the fuck? Of course I do. She spun in place with her usual playful grin. What are you doing? I think I know what they want. Seoyeon propped her chin on her hand, deep in thought. Seeing it as a drawing makes it clearer. Its whale is supposed to be at rest, but she raised both hands in the air, then let them drop with a trembling motion. It suddenly started moving, so if it means stabbing its heart, that's the only way to stop the whale and bring peace back to the universe. So the whale's crime is moving. That's the consensus right now. It's just minding its own business, but it started moving, so we have to stab it in the heart. Alright. The alien in front of Seoyeon broke into a wide grin and threw both arms into the air. Seems Seoyeon's interpretation was right. So it can understand her? Why isn't it speaking English, huh? Can you even speak alien now? Xinyu marveled. Then, all of a sudden, a familiar vibration buzzed from inside her skirt pocket. It was her phone. How on earth is a phone getting a signal in space? Dahyun? Dahyun's voice over the phone was full of urgency. Hey. Mixed noises crackled through the line. Whatever happens, don't kill that whale. You hear me? No matter what. This is what I've been saying since the beginning. Just because it's big and unknown doesn't mean it's a villain. If that's what we find out at the end of this, is it's not a villain. I'll say it. I call it from the beginning, and if we're ever in a situation like this in real life, listen to me, alright? I'll make the right decision for it. Then the call cut off. While she was still reeling from the sudden message, the aliens were putting on a small performance in front of the members. I trust these aliens less than the whale. They just show up too, and just because they're small and cute, we're supposed to trust them more? Come on. 24 of them, dressed in ornate costumes like a transformed tripleS, launched into a synchronized dance. See, they're trying to take your spot. They're trying to be the new tripleS. They gripped their sticks like spears, repeatedly jabbing at a sphere that looked just like the whale's heart. Don't do that? Xinyu tried calling Nagung again, but all she got was an automated voice telling her she was outside the surface area. If you were actually in space, would you even get that on your phone, or would it just not do anything? What do we do? Worry tightened Xinyu's face as she looked at Seoyeon. 30 minutes before the call, somewhere out in deep space. How am I supposed to make sense of this mess? Dahyun gnashed her teeth. Is this from Dahyun's perspective? Because we already had Seoyeon at the beginning? That would be interesting. With all the lyrics other than that. Seoyeon's charge the moment that meteor-like craft crashed into the stadium had been nothing short of heroic. Even so, those colossal skeletal fingers brushed them aside like eraser shavings across his desk. And now 6 members were barely staying afloat in a thick, sticky blue sea. Neptune's a gas planet, right? So, yeah. So they're in another sea. All except Seoyeon, still sinking under the weight of her armor. So they're saying this is like water. No way, Coltonate burst out of the water. But Neptune's a gas, right? The sun also isn't really sailable, so let's not go too much into that. Coltonate burst out of the water, the first to dive after Seoyeon as she went under. And down there I saw like skeletal sharks, whales, a whole bunch of them charging at us. I'm good at diving, Seoyeon cut it. Is she actually? Or did they just put that in there for the plot? I've never heard the Seoyeon diving lore, so I don't know if they made it up or not. Seoyeon, Dahyun lowered her voice stern and heavy. Just staying afloat is all we need from you right now. We can't lose another person here. Seoyeon's lips trembled into a pout. Ooh. Great job, Dahyun. Dahyun averted her gaze from Seoyeon. She might as well have admitted they'd already lost one. She could have softened her words, covered it up somehow, yet she chose to spit out the truth, harsh and bare. She hated herself for it. What about the spacecraft? Fell here with us, right? Someone check it. Before the sentence even ended, Dahyun swam toward the egg-shaped craft. Her strokes looked clumsy, like a dog paddle, but she moved fast enough. The problem came with the rain. Droplets began falling, tiny as dust, so hard they sent sharp pain ripping through the skin. Damn! Dahyun cupped her hands and caught a handful of glittering fragments. Diamonds. She remembered a fun science fact Yuan once told her. Neptune had diamond rain. Each shimmering speck burst across the surface, sending ripples outward. Put some in your pockets just in case. Just for when you maybe get transported back to Earth, then you can make it really red. But instead of overlapping like normal waves, every ring met in the middle and collided, raising each other in perfect symmetry. Broke every law of nature. Yuan would lose her mind over this. Either that or fall in love with it. It's wrecked, Dahyun yelled, hands cupped around her mouth. Still, it could be sheltered from the rain. Ko-chan. Dahyun placed a hand firmly on Kotane's shoulder. Take the others and get under that thing. You can do it, right? Of course. Kotane nodded. That confident grin of hers, the one that showed the slightest flash of upper teeth, was strangely reassuring. Like this. Dahyun pretended to follow the others. Then, the moment everyone drifted far enough away, she dove straight into the water. Her eyes burned like fire, but after a few desperate blinks, she adjusted. Bare-boned fish swam toward her with violent intent. So was Dahyun canonically the vice leader of Neptune? Ignore them, just go straight. Dahyun squeezed her eyes shut and plunged deeper into the dark. At last she reached Seoyeon. Even lifting Seoyeon's body the slightest bit felt like her arms were about to shatter. By the time she realized she needed to strip off that armor, Dahyun's legs were already screaming. Please. Dahyun clutched Seoyeon and the armor still weighing her down and begged in silence. Dahyun clutched Seoyeon and the armor still weighing her down and begged in silence. One of us has to sink, let it be me. Just give me the strength to save Seoyeon. And if I'm honest, I'm scared. So give me the strength to fly up with her. She was a breath away from losing consciousness. Then the metal holding Seoyeon down broke apart and flowed toward Dahyun, wrapping around her instead. The moment she inherited the armor, air surged back into her chest, and strength flooded her limbs. Dahyun shot upward like she bounced off a trampoline. The surface split with a bright ringing crack. The instant she broke through the water, Seoyeon gasped violently in her arms, coughing up air. So the secret all along was to pray to our good Lord Jesus. Thank goodness. Dahyun heard the cheers of the others as she drifted back toward the wrecked spacecraft. I just read that as wrecked. The sharp silver crown sitting crooked on her head irritated her, so she simply shoved it into Kotane's hand. What now? Naga asked. A mix of relief and dread tingled in her voice. She held Seoyeon's head on her lap and grumbled, not forgetting to complain even now. Seriously, Seoyeon lives life like it's a video game. Maybe discuss things with us first, genius. Ever heard of teamwork? She's not wrong. A literal skeleton hand came down from the sky, and she interacted with this weird space egg she saw, and they're like, come on, could you even heard of teamwork? It'd be great if I could fly right now, but I don't know if I have enough power to carry you all. Moving Seoyeon alone nearly knocked me out. The pale, lifeless sunlight outlined the long tailbone of the space whale, cutting across the sky. Damn, it's all the way out here even? Taking up the whole solar system. It's clearly the same creature that had appeared on Earth. shuddering now as if trapped inside a nightmare. Shouldn't this, like, gravitational pull be affecting all the planets? Oh, holy fucking shit. What? Kotane's voice cut through Dahyun's trance. What? What is it? It's a crown. Kotane pointed at the silver piece on her head. Heard something inside it, like a whale song, but translated. It wants us to save its mother. See, the first vote that all the whales did was just get straight to fighting. This is just a baby whale wanting to see his mother. Do you feel bad now? I was saying it from the beginning, and I was right. Everyone in the comments, tell me how smart I am, please. I need this. What are you even saying? Naga's gone. It's big. It has to be you. No, really, I heard it. I still do. Kotane shot upright. You're the one who had that weird prophetic dream. It's different, Naga muttered, pouting. Whales don't talk. What is this? Penguin in the Seokchonhosu or something? I don't know what that is. It's true, Kotane yelled back. Around them, 3 smaller skeletal whales circled restlessly. Sure, Tone? Dahyun stepped back. Every time she met those hollow eyes, vertigo twisted in her chest. Every snap of their jaws made her wonder if she'd be eaten next. They were terrifying to look at. Nothing about them was beautiful. Kotane leaned forward until her forehead pressed against the skull of one whale. They used to live peacefully here, she whispered, eyes closed as if listening for every syllable. But the Mokos came. Moko? Nian tilted her head. Pink aliens, Kotane said, wincing. Neptune whales are apparently the only creatures in the universe that can move between wave and particle states. That's why the Mokos showed up to exploit that ability. They caught the adults frozen, used their bodies as cities. That huge whale attacked us, Dahyun objected. I mean, it literally tried to kill us. It didn't mean to, Kotane murmured, stroking the whale's bone. And the Mokos, if they want to, they'll kill the mother, the one we saw on Earth. Okay, it's not going across the whole solar system, there's just 2 of them. You're kidding, Dahyun trembled. Why not just go save her themselves? They can fly, obviously. She pointed at the massive whale overhead. No, they have to be adult whales to fly. Dahyun backed off with a shrug. Could have said that earlier. So that means, Nian counted under her breath, we're supposed to save that whale now, right? How? By flying up there, Dahyun said, pushing herself to her feet. Her whole body felt impossibly heavy, but she still believed she could do it. She had to. Now I'm just thinking about what this is going to be like. They're going to be doing some sort of Q&A, I suppose, because they're really putting the lyrics into everything. All Suns really was just saying a city looked like bubblegum. But her attempt to launch into the air fell short. She merely hopped, slipping on the spacecraft's slick surface, and Nian had to catch her before she fell back into the sea. No, Nian said firmly, not like this. We need something else. And Saw spoke up from the water, eyes wide. What if we go together? Together? Yes, with the whales. Oh. Dahyun finally understood. Maybe this shining silver armor wasn't meant to burden one person at all. Saw, thank you. Dahyun steadied herself beside Kotane, letting the 3 skeletal baby whales gather around her. Beyond beauty, look past the surface. We gotta have a Magic Shine New Zone reference in here, and Christmas alone. Hyunchiria. Dahyun placed her palm on the whale's skull. It was warmer than expected. Silver material that had once wrapped Seoyeon, then Dahyun, unraveled into countless threads. They spun through the air, weaving 3 sets of wings. The whales launched skyward, all at once. Wow, Kotane breathed. This means we ride them, right? Apparently, Dahyun shrugged, feeling lighter. Right. Why did I think I had to stand alone? There are 24 of us. One might stumble, but together we will never fall. The 6 climbed onto their mounts in pairs. Kotane threw her arms around Saw and took out first. Then Nayeon shoved the barely conscious Seoyeon into position. Lastly, Dahyun and Nian mounted the last whale. Terror still crawled across Dahyun's skin, but with Nian giggling like she was on a roller coaster, even fear felt manageable. Then parts of the whale's wings scattered like scales, drifting down to form flowing yet weighty outfits around Dahyun and the others. The baby whales carved through the pitch-black darkness, weaving back and forth as they closed the distance to their mother. Hold on, Nian said, pointing toward the giant whale's mouth. Aren't those our girls? Sharp eyes inside the mouth of the massive whale, freshly turned from the sun. 6 members, Xinyu included, were darting through the bone corridors, welcomed by the pink aliens they had only ever heard about in stories. Dahyun suddenly pulled out her phone. That's not gonna work, Kotane snapped. I don't care. Worth a try. Dahyun pressed the screen to her face and waited. And waited. Someone picked up. She fired her words like bullets. Hey. Whatever happens, don't kill that whale. You hear me? No matter what. Dahyun froze, expression howling. It cut out. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Dahyun could only whisper one word. Wow. Most of this chapter has been Neptune. Zenith isn't gonna get as much of a spotlight, probably. She and 5 other members had woken inside a space wrapped in thin and pulsating like muscle membranes, stretching in every direction. Ivory-like tubes pierced through the walls, and though they had slid down through those tunnels, they weren't wide enough to climb back out. The entire chamber throbbed, rising and falling in a steady rhythm. Sounds like we're gonna need a Q&A to understand all this. Felt as if they had stepped into the heart of some enormous creature capable of swallowing worlds. A heart filled not with blood vessels, but with telescopes. Telescopes weren't what interested Hayeon, nor was she concerned about why her body brimmed with energy. Energy like this only came during an adrenaline-spiked performance. All 6 members now wore Snow White magical girl outfits, but that alone couldn't explain it. Are we dead? Hayeon wondered silently. Is that why I feel so strong? Is this the afterlife? We should do something, Hayeon said flatly. We can't just sit here knowing nothing. Maybe it was the spark they needed, because the girls who had been slumped over moments ago began buzzing with noise again. The spacecraft's pilot seemed to agree, hopping in place. The alien was bright pink, wearing a single round lens over one eye, with pupils black as the night sky. However, communication was the problem. So now I'm gonna say, we still don't know for sure if the pink aliens are bad. That was the big reveal, but still, don't jump to conclusions. That was just one word against another, so we don't know. Still gonna be unbiased here. Hey look, Yubin tapped Yeonji's shoulder. The others are here. What? Gio. She's hopeless with machines, but somehow she got the focus right. Everyone knows that Gio's hopeless with machines. This classic Gio trait. Yubin pointed slack-jawed at one of the telescopic lenses, showed Earth, and more precisely, the stadium where the disaster had struck. There they were, the entire group of tripleS, all 24, not just 18. But we're there too, Hayeon murmured. Is this some kind of astral projection? Or, oh, I think I get it, Gio cut in. My hands are empty, but it's like I'm holding slime. Look, isn't that version of me down there touching slime? Sumi, nose pressed to the lens, gasped. Wow, she is, in the corner, playing with slime. Then I know what this means. Gio strode toward Yubin smug. Slap me. What? Hurry up. Yubin never asked twice. A loud slap echoed across the room. Of course, very, very accurate to canon. Yubin is desperate to slap Gio, always has been. Ow, Gio whined. Obviously, it hurts. I slapped you. Yubin scoffed. Gio pouted, then turned to Hayeon. See that? Captain Hayeon has made her observation. Hayeon answered dramatically. They reacted to it. Look. Unearthed, Gio flinched, clutching her cheek, confusion written all over her face. So we interact with it, Yubin muttered, scratching her head. I don't know how it works, but the question is, how can we use this? There's only one thing we can do. Let's all kiss, Hayeon said. Or, no. Oh, that's my Yubin, Sumin teased. No, seriously, we're all half goofing off, and Yubin's the most responsible one here, Yubin laughed. Maybe you should learn from, Captain. Maybe you should learn from, Captain. Sumin turned the point of the conversation back toward Hayeon. Didn't matter how many times Hayeon demanded, why am I the leader? Sudden as it was, the authority behind it felt unquestionable. Because you drawed the paper, truth be told, she didn't hate it. Leading 5 people through a place you didn't even understand was overwhelming, yes, but earning that kind of trust without asking for it filled her with a quiet joy she couldn't deny. Alright, let's organize this, Hayeon said, clapping her hands. First, our actual bodies didn't teleport. We're split like astral doubles. Second, that fox bunny thing over there is supposed to be our guide, but we can't understand a word it says. Third, we have no clue where the other members are. Then we look for them, Yeonji said, cutting straight to the point. Right, and here's the mission. Hayeon snapped her fingers. We use every lens in this chamber to locate our members. They might not be on Earth at all. Scroll back up. Where did it say they were? Where they start off? They're in a space. It's like they're in heart. They have telescopes pointing at the Earth. So I guess if they're the zenith, they're just somewhere above Earth. The girls rolled up their sleeves and got to work. Searching for members scattered somewhere in the universe was like hunting for a needle in a cosmic haystack. All I see are spacecrafts and cities, Chiyu complained. There are so many. Why didn't Earth ever detect them? Good question, Yubin replied lazily. Why is that lazy? Hayeon sighed and glared at the pink alien. Would it kill you to explain something, you pilot? The creature only meowed again, as if desperately trying to communicate. They meow? Have they said that before? If it was intended to look for us, it should have packed a translator. Did it lose it? Suddenly Yeonji and Jubin gasped, clutching each other's hands. I think we found them. Whew! Hayeon's face lit up. They followed Yeonji's pointing finger, and froze. Just beyond a thin outer membrane, the shadows of tripleS flickered. Xinyu, Sullin, and 10 others stood poised with long spears. And farther away, 6 more members sprinted forward, nodding, shouting, Don't do it! These telescopes let you hear sound, too? We're right here, Hayeon shouted back. No reaction, not even a flinch. The voice couldn't reach beyond the barrier. Are we trapped? Sumin asked weakly, half joking, like humor might save them from a panic attack. I don't get the joke. Everyone sat back. Hayeon drew back. No matter how physically divided tripleS had become, she could only pray that their hearts hadn't fractured too. Cool art. Oh, what will happen in the next scene? 1. Heart lurches. Wall falls, but whale stops. 2. Walking dead. Members became skeletons. Huh? We could choose to kill the members? Let me tell you, that option greatly, greatly appeals to me. From the start, I've been wanting things to just go badly. I want us to fail, because that would be so funny. 3. Spits out. Whale spits out all members. 4. Inner conflict. Members clash beyond the wall. So our choices are, let me get this straight. Heart lurches. So the wall falls, whale stops. So we're maybe hurting this whale, which is most likely trustworthy. If we believe the other one that's looking for his mother, I'm guessing that most likely the whales are not bad. That might hurt it. I don't know. Second option, kill the members. Members become skeletons. Well, the whales are also skeletons, and they aren't dead. So maybe we'll just be able to relate more to them if we all become skeletons. 3, whale spits out all members. Then we be sent into the vastness of space, and we die. 4, the members fight with each other. Many very entertaining options, and none of them sound all that good. So now I, as always, have to make the choice of going with the good option or the funny option. First, just to talk about the chapter beforehand. Yeah, very good chapter. Again, every chapter I've liked more than the last. Just, I mean, seeing from the perspective of Hayeon, obviously appeals to me particularly, but just getting more and more details to everything that's going on is very interesting. Of course, now it's been revealed that I was right all along, which I will hold over everyone's heads until the day I die, of course. Just kidding. I won't mention it next episode, probably. But just as expected, seeing where Neptune ended up was cool, and just seeing the places they are. I don't really know where Zenith is, but seeing all the different settings and the different interpretations of the members' personalities is interesting. I love when they write the conflict in. It didn't have it be as extreme as like last episode, but still some fighting moments here and there. It's funny. Makes me wonder how the last chapter is going to go, because I guess, you know, the members are going to come together somehow and most likely be like, hey, these little monsters are actually little pieces of shit. They're going to kill these poor whales. So put a stop to them, I guess. But again, I was like, I thought that these might have been the monsters that we voted for in Gravity, but if they're the villains, then that would be kind of funny. So I don't know if that's actually the case, but I'm getting more and more intrigued in how this is all going to end. We're just going to reunite these whales with their mothers. I'm not sure if I totally picked up all the details. Were the whales always skeletons, did they say? Or do they just become that way? They said the little creatures were using the powers of the whales. Mogos, that's what they're called. They get the Neptune whales are apparently the only creatures in the universe that can move between wave and particle states, whatever that means. The Mogos showed up to exploit that ability. I wonder where the word Mogo comes from. It's just a random word they came up with it. It sounds like Como. I knew it. I knew it had to be. I knew it wasn't just arbitrary. I knew it had to mean something. It's Como backwards. So that makes it seem like it is what we voted for in the Gravity, because we voted for that with Como, and they're called Mokos. So I'm guessing that these definitely are what we voted for in that Gravity. But they're evil here, seemingly. So that's interesting. Unless we'll come up with an explanation that it's all a misunderstanding somehow. But they're saying that the Mokos showed up to freeze them and use their bodies as cities, which doesn't sound very cool. They are originally skeletons, right? They weren't made that way by the Mokos. Seems that they definitely are born that way. So use their bodies as cities so they can go between the wave and particle states. So they aren't like killing them, but they're just freezing them in place and saying, hey, you're going to be our city now, which is pretty fucked up. So everything is definitely pointing to them being the bad guys of this. So I wonder how we're gonna stop them. We're gonna have like half of the members fighting with the Mokos and have them fighting with the Neptune whales. That'd be very amusing. Maybe that's what'll happen if we choose 4 inner conflict. Members clash beyond the wall. We'll get a fight in tripleS. And, you know, we all love Badge War, right? We all think Badge War is like the best tripleS content out there. So you gotta admit, we all love seeing the tripleS members fight, right? So it'll be fun to watch half of them fighting on the side of the Mokos and half of them fighting with the whales. It'll be very entertaining. So for what my choice would be for the Gravity. All falls but whale stops. What does that actually do? I don't know. The whale just stops. I'm not even sure which whale they're talking about. Are they in a whale right now? Say they're in a beating heart. It says heart lurches. Are they in a heart inside a whale? Do they clarify that? I didn't see that. We can make the members become skeletons, which is again just a crazy, crazy choice. Why would we want that? I don't know. But whenever there's a wild card like that, I'm so tempted to choose. Or whale spits out all members, or inner conflict. I have to be honest. I'm between 2 and 4. I think those would just be interesting. I'd love to see a battle between the two sides of tripleS before, like, Avengers, Captain America Civil War style, where we have half of them on one side, half on the other, have to choose who to root for. That'd be really funny. I don't even know where Zenith would be exactly, but with Sun and Moon on the same side, it makes sense if it was Neptune and Zenith on the other side. But then, again, just the wild card, Walking Dead members became skeletons. I just have no idea what would come of that, but that could be cool, I guess. My final choice is for inner conflict. Members clash beyond the wall. I want to see that happen. these are still all so vague. Like, clash in what way? Clash beyond the wall of this place that Zenith is in, I guess. Which is, maybe it'll just be Neptune versus the other members. But are they gonna actually fight? I'd love to see them fight to the death. Neptune's like, you will not kill these whales. I'll kill you first. I'll kill my bandmates just to protect these poor baby whales. Yeah, I don't know. Any of these could be interesting. I don't really know what to expect from them, but some very unexpected choices here. But I'm excited to see what the waves will choose. Another great chapter. I can't believe the next one's already the last chapter. I'd love to keep doing this for a long time. I really hope we have sequels to this and like in future comebacks. Every comeback would be awesome, but at least some sort of sequel. I mean, they just put out something asking for waves to submit fan art and fan stories, so it seems like it is something they're going to continue to do more of, and I think it's great. I don't know how many people are actually reading this stuff, but I hope it's a lot, because it's so cool. It's such a cool, innovative idea for an idol group, which is kind of obvious because it's Jay and Jung. That's all he does constantly. So yeah, that was chapter 3, Crushing Waves. Didn't see any actual waves get crushed. The only crushing of a wave that happened was after chapter 1 when we chose not to save the fan. I'm assuming that wave got crushed. That little 13-year-old girl got crushed. So I'm assuming that's what this chapter title is about. But yeah, another great chapter. Can't wait for the last one. Thank you for watching. Be sure to come back next week to see me read out the finale. Check out the Patreon, subscribe so you don't miss any future tripleS reaction videos, and I'll see you in the next video.